Talk a little bit about your continuous improvement efforts and how that evolved.
Well, one of the things that you lose in a kind of a COVID environment when you lose all of those people is a consistent way to think about problem solving. I mean, that's so when you start to talk about let's go stabilize the process, well, what does that mean? I mean,
Right.
people don't,
Yeah.
if people don't speak the same language around, continuous improvement, then, or even just if they don't speak the same language around problem solving,
Mhm.
then you're just going to flounder. You don't have a base. I mean, we went way all the way back to like basic lean tools like 5S. That was the first thing we did was,
Mhm.
okay, let's just be good at housekeeping because we're not good at anything else right now.
Yeah.
Let's
Got
go.
to start somewhere.
Let's go get good at 5S. Let's go get some. Let's try to stabilize this environment a little bit.
Yeah.
Keep the tooling where it belongs and keep the workplace organized and do all the things that we know how to do. And, with a new workforce, we had to teach them. So, I mean, it went all the way back to that. So then it was really for me early on, I think probably when you and I first started talking, it was really about how do we get this language back into, reinvigorated. I mean, we still had people here that had been involved in this kind of thing for many years, but a lot of those people were gone. So the consistency around problem solving and just the lexicon of language, that you're using to do that, we didn't have that. So when people talk about, like design, implement, control, they're like, I don't know, what does that mean?
Mhm.
And so, whereas those of us that have been doing it a while, I mean, we understand, well, that design part has your process map in it and, you're modeling the process and you're optimizing the process. I mean, all those things that you think of, you take for granted after you've been doing it for 30 years, well, nobody speaks that language all of a sudden,
Right.
or half the workforce doesn't. So, that was a lot of it. We had to really just kind of go back to how do we reteach, the science of operations to the workforce and the leadership, because we had a lot of leadership turnover too. It wasn't just that,
Right.
the workforce, in some areas, I had one area that had 9 out of 10 managers
Wow.
replaced in a year,
Yeah.
and
That's
so,
turnover.
that's a lot of turnover. And even, with very seasoned managers going out the door who already, could communicate with me and communicate with their leadership in a language that we all knew in terms of process improvement and, understanding, turn times and what goes into science-based control and all that kind of stuff, and so we had to start over with education and with some grounding in lean and kind of basic stuff.